Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to the next chapter of the Refound story. Hey, Manna, it's good to see you again.
Hello, good to see you. Sorry, my one of my fur babies is back here.
Fur
Actually,
babies
all
are
of them are
love.
up here, but see only one.
We like to say our podcast is a come as you are. So
Yes,
whatever happens, if a kid walks by, if an
yeah,
elderly
because it's
parent happens to
real.
walk
It's
in and,
life.
hi, Dad, what are you doing here?
Yeah,
Kind of thing. It's all in the family. So
yeah,
we don't uber polish or edit things. It's just about showing up real, raw, and transparent. So
yeah,
well, it's good to see you again. Excuse me, I'm excited about today's topic
yeah.
because this concept of the superpower of process. One of the things that I find myself doing, and it was probably a big part of my my mental obesity, was that process was actually my anchor. It kind of kept me submerged to the
Ah,
point where it didn't serve me well the way that I thought it would. And oftentimes it becomes almost like this engineered life where it's just like things are so structured to a certain degree. But processing things and the way that we look at the word process has a lot of different meanings. So I'd love for you to kind of kick us off on this topic around the superpower of process.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, the superpower of process. It is. We talked in the inaugural podcast about our addiction to comfort.
Mhm.
And we think we've been told that the goal line of life is succeed, 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 get this, get that, and be number one or be famous. And you and I have never cared about being famous. We it wasn't about followers, it was about impact. And for us to understand the gift of process uh, is to understand the preparation for impact.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone who's watching us would say that they have enjoyed process. they have they have not enjoyed the preparation. We just want to show up at the Olympics and run, a 3-minute mile. We just want to show up and do some great exploit on the ice and win a gold medal, or to sing without having to prepare, or to play the drums, or to whatever is, fill in the blank. And a mentor of mine once said, look at your hand. And everybody wants the mountaintop experience. Mountain, 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 mountain. Success, 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 success,
Yeah.
success. But we don't want the process, because we got to go down into the valley, work our way up, learn about how we got here, and then next uh, uh, assignment of life, and then so on and so on and so on. So we see relative, because we've been addicted to comparison. We talked about that earlier in our first episode. The most world renowned, and then to you, what you have learned is this doctor, and then they become the chief of staff, and then this and that. This comparison trap. We're not the first people to talk about it, and I believe that we may be one of the few that can not only just talk about it and dissect it, do surgery on it, and then come back and revisit that previous chapter of our lives and say, how does that translate into transformation? How does that translate into something that is beautiful? Because process is not punishment, it is preparation. And breakthrough, there's a common saying, it takes a long time to have a suddenly.
Mhm.
And we all want the sudden,
Yep.
lovely,
Yep.
but we don't understand how long it took for somebody to build what they've had to build. And so this process, this superpower, it makes us worthy. And I'll use that term in this context. It makes us worthy to carry the weight of responsibility of success. You and I could never do what we do and hold and steward the soul and the assignments of those that come to us without having the hard-won wisdom and the time-honored experiences
Mhm.
that could carry
Yeah.
such weight. These people that come to us, these incredible, soulful warriors of light, why do they trust us? Because they know we didn't just Google something or chat GPT something or perplexity something or grok something on it. It's because it came from process. And we can say, this is how you too can carry the weight. You too can steward what is about to unfold for you, because it's not just exposure, it's a revealing. In the process, what gets exposed are the walls, the dirt, the shame, the fear, the comparison, the blocks, the memories that we talked about in the first chapter. Is they're either a prison or they're a passport. And we will not just reframe, but use EI, emotional intelligence, and SI, spiritual intelligence, through some of the unique proprietary things that we've developed through our leadership training, how people can be forward facing, front facing, and not be in fear and not feel they're an imposter, yet own their calling, their gifting, their treasures, and their memories as a passport to their future assignment.
Mhm.
So that's one of the things that we do with our clients, but also what we want to share with people on this chapter, on this episode.
Well, I
And
think too no, I appreciate that insight. I think too, we often see the P word, process, as a negative, something we have to do,
yeah.
or the outcome is always about fixing something, or it's the, it's the means to some sort of end, but nobody wants to be a part of it. We say trust the process, and yes, and I think sometimes, and one of the things that I love to do, and we love to do with people, is making the process fun.
Mhm.
It should be fun. It should be introspective. It should be, something that's driven by passion, something that's been driven by excitement and joy, and something that, yes, you're going to hit those moments where it's like, oh, I got to go to the dark in order to find the light. It's always that thing too. The analogy of, the stained glass window, right? A stained glass window is only illuminated when it's dark outside. It's very hard to see a stained glass window when it's light out. So the idea of being able to surround yourself, go to where the darkness is, let's call that part of the process, but it doesn't end there and it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stay there. It's the process is something that we should be looking forward to. And maybe we can find a different word for process. um, Maybe we need to brand a different kind of way in which we get there. There's probably another P word that'll help us get there. Um, but I think, allowing ourselves to be in it for the joy of it is a really tough mindset to shift from. Because the moment somebody hears that, it's like it's a big turnoff. Um, but yet it's pivotal to, the success.
Yeah.
Um,
Something that I've done in my counseling practice or master coaching processes is that we can choose to either fall on our knees by choice, or we can be taken
sure.
out by the knees.
Yeah,
And that
exactly.
is that's just the function of life. It's also that metaphor: first a seed, then a stone, and then a brick wall, a brick, and then a brick wall. And because we are so loved, that bouncing around on the floor
Mhm.
without purpose, without direction, without something bigger in mind, and just to achieve a thing is very depressing. And I
Yeah,
think that's why many people, once they get their dream, they're depressed.
yeah,
Because, like, well, now what? And now, I have to think, because they know they have to do this all over again.
Yeah.
They have to bounce on the bottom all over again. And they don't want to do that. Nobody wants to do that. If we achieve something, let's start from that place and not all the way down. But people don't understand that because they haven't dealt with the hidden drivers and those shadow sides. And as you said, it can be fun. And why it's fun, I think the approach is really important is I'm going to get free. I'm not going to be a puppet driven
Yeah.
by a puppeteer anymore. And it doesn't have to be a person that's driving us. It could be a thing. It could be a belief. It could be a mindset. It could be many, many things. And one of another mentor of mine in grad school said, you have the opportunity to heal this for the very last time. And
Mhm.
it's a funny way that people get to do that through business because
Yeah.
money is I'll say a substitute or uh, a placement, a replacement of safety.
Mhm.
And so when they think they've got money or they're going after money, they're willing to do whatever it takes. Well, let me look at that. I'll answer this question for you. I'll fill out this form for you. And when we go deep, like when we help people work through their pivotal message and they're on the stage and they're all that. And we're like,
Yeah. Yep.
gong show, start all over. And they don't like that.
No.
And yet it's the very thing they need. And when they get through it it's the Trojan horse. Business, a message, a speech, a presentation is the Trojan horse to get into what really matters. And so we help people find fun in the work. We
Yeah.
help people find fun. It's not about perfection. There's only one person on this planet that I know that has ever been perfect. And it's certainly not you or me or any of our kids.
Nope.
But something else that is really, I think, often missed is the beauty within a person's soul that is often we said in the other episode, skipped or diminished or relegated or somewhere else. It's the beauty that comes forth. You and I have been in front of people, and as soon as they have their aha moment, we've cried. Like that is like, oh my gosh, that's what drives us. So I know you and I, have talked about this many, many times. Do we get paid? Sure. Of course we have to get paid. We're in the marketplace. But the reason we're even doing this is for those moments when they go, and they're crying, we're crying, and
Yeah.
we witness a soul free.
Yeah.
That is everything. So
I know,
process,
'cause
superpower,
especially
and it's
spending
beautiful.
and spending so much of my corporate life not having that spark of joy, it's just
Mhm.
it's transforming. I was just thinking,
Maybe we could call you Tucker Joy.
Tucker well, I was funny, and you know how I work. Once I get fixated on something, I wanna solve the issue, and I was thinking of this concept of the great preparation, right? Instead of a process, think about it as preparing for something, and in order to get to that great preparation, it takes things that are, sometimes you gotta go to those dark places, but I think, you know, we just want how we bring impact to the world to be focused just on that. That
Yeah,
specifically is how
yeah.
are we, rather than looking at bottom line, rather than looking at the numbers, and while it's important, it's what is that equity that allows to measure success on impact rather than dollars. And I think that's where, we found that the more we can focus on giving in the sense of impact, the more the return on the experience.
Mhm.
And I think that's, that concept of ROE, return on experience. And that's what we love to do, is be able to inspire leaders to have those experiences. But I think, my parting comment would be that, and however we create the Refound story, that the preparation for it is focused on looking at process as a superpower and not as an anchor, not something that's going
Yeah.
to tie you down, not
Yeah.
something that you have to. We shouldn't look at process as overcoming something as much as it is working through something.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how we look at process and that superpower with conversations to come.
Yes. Yes. There's a really fun method that you and I use
Mm,
to when we work with our clients, and maybe we can put that in the show notes for 1, 2, or 3 points that we can give people that they can just jot down, do freeform writing or some kind of journal prompt that they could look at and just say, oh wow, I didn't know that was there. And then I think what could be really fun, speaking of fun and joy, is to do an episode where we take the questions of people that have written to us and just answer them online if they want to.
almost like we could do a rapid fire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we've had so many people ask us all these questions. Let's just answer them online, and we'll let our clients and others know that we're going to be doing that, and then they can join if they can. If they can't, then we'll answer it anyway. So
Yeah. Well, and you can go ahead and go to voicesthatunite.com
yes,
slash podcast and put those questions in there,
yeah,
and get them to us so that we can help. We want this podcast to be focused around user generated content as well, not just us
yeah,
talking. So we encourage you to go there,
yeah,
not just subscribe, but also submit ideas of conversations and things that you want to talk about that maybe you don't often talk about with even family or friends, but it's something that you want to have a safe space to have a dialogue, and allow our stories and experiences to help inform that. So
yes,
we'd be honored. Um,
yes. So
Mary Joy Manna, any parting comment as we end this chapter?
you know, I'll just say this: Nike has a powerful tagline, just do it.
Mm,
And I was thinking about that a lot the past few weeks. We get stuck so often on the, rumination. Do I have the right script? Do I have the right message? Do I have enough content? You know what? Let's just do it. Email us, send us a text, put something up there. And if you're uncomfortable, you can be anonymous. And we just want to just do life with you. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. We've lost enough time to old beliefs, old mindsets that were lies against our humanity. And I think it's time to
yeah.
have your refound story. So I would say, in the wise words of Nike, the brand, and I hope this isn't bad, but I'll just say, do it. Do it.
Awesome.
Let's do it.
Let's
Let's
do it.
do it.
All
Let's,
right, man. It's good to see you. All right, everyone. And we'll see you on the next chapter of the Refound story.
thank
Thanks for
you.
joining us.
Bye.